everyone, and welcome to another episode of Canned Air, your tribute to pop culture. I am Jeremy Colley.
I'm Jack Doherty.
And I am Randy Hardenbrook.
And I'm going to say it again. I'm a broken record, ladies and gentlemen, but it's the truth. This is another fantastic conversation. And am I right, guys? I mean, come on, back me up here.
You're totally right, yeah.
Fuck, I love what we do.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And you know what? It's funny. I needed some rejuvenation this week. I was feeling a little burnt, feeling like I needed to pick me up. This did it.
It did. Yeah.
This plugged me back in. Our guest today has done so much, it would be impossible to sit here and even attempt to try to go over it all. But the stuff he's most known for would have to be voicing Hawkeye in Avengers, United They Stand, Jadeite and Wiseman, and Sailor Moon. I don't know much about Sailor Moon. I know Randy's a bit of an anime fan. Maybe you know Sailor Moon at all? Do you?
A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit.
I watched it when it came out on Toonami back in the day.
Okay. The voice of Tony the Tiger, the third person to voice Tony the Tiger, which is incredible. You guys know how much we love our serial mascot voices. We've had so many of them, and now we got Tony the Tiger to hang up there as well.
I think we had almost all of them now.
We need Captain Crunch and Sugar Bear.
Right, yeah.
And Sugar Bear. Can't get enough of that Sugar Crisp. Remember him? But our guest today is best known as being the voice of Gambit in the X-Men animated series. And not only Gambit, but Gambit, Wolverine, and Toad in Marvel vs. Capcom. He's done a ton of different Marvel games where he voices these characters. We welcome actor and musician Tony Daniels to the show today. And damn, I can't even begin to tell you how fantastic this conversation was. So generous with his time. We got some first times with one of these conversations. The first time somebody, I don't want to spoil anything, but a few moments that are the first time that's ever happened on Canned Air podcast. Incredible moments. I don't know how to say it without spoiling it. So I guess
you want to listen to this interview.
You want to listen to this interview. It was fantastic and so good. I think we hit it off so well with him that we're definitely going to have him back in the future just to sit and bullshit with him. But before we cut you over to our conversation, don't forget to find us on Twitter at CannedAirPod, on Instagram at Canned_Air, and on TikTok at Canned Air Podcast, and CannedAirPodcast.com. 2 different ways you can support us. There's a merch tab and a Patreon tab. For a few dollars a month, you get something in return, whether it be a hat, a t-shirt, a mug, a sticker, or just extra content. It's all there waiting for you. And if you don't have any money to support us, leave us a like and review on your podcast player of choice, because that helps out tremendously. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, if you're hearing the audio version, go check out our YouTube page, because we're putting a lot more love back into it. We're trying to get every episode we put out now, the video version, up the same time the audio version releases. I know we're way behind, people. We're a podcast that's been around for 10 years. Only in audio format. And only now have we thought, this video thing might be something worth looking into. But anyway, what am I forgetting, guys?
Huge shout out to evergreenpodcast.com.
There it is. And without any further ado, let's just throw you right over to our conversation with Tony Daniels. Tony, thank you so much for taking time to be with us tonight. It's really awesome to have the voice of Gambit here. Thank you for being here.
Who? Yeah.
Oh, we got the wrong guy, son of a bitch.
Damn it. I knew this was going to happen.
I'm the second guy. The first guy was Chris Potter, who I love. And I played his brother, Bobby LeBeau.
I read that, yes.
But when I auditioned, they were like, man, your Cajun accent's really good. And I go, yeah, it was pretty easy. I called my uncle. He's down in New Orleans. And he had just that sound, he told me, and then he was telling me a bunch of sayings and they wouldn't let me use them. But so I played Bobby, and then Chris left the show because but when I auditioned at first, they were like, man, we should get you for this, but we're going to go with Chris because he's a well-known Canadian actor. I was young and innocent. And
not so innocent anymore, are you?
Yeah. But, Chris is such a great actor, so it didn't bother me. And then they said, "Oh, and the other thing is, we'll use as a utility guy." I go, "What's that mean?" It's like you'll do 2 and 3 voices a show type thing whenever possible. I'm like, "What's the difference?" And they go, "The money." I'm like, "Okay." And then
Sign
when
me
Chris
up.
left, and then when Chris left, I did Gambit for like 9 years. You guys all played, Street Fighter versus X-Men,
Oh yeah.
superheroes, and it was great
Mhm.
because my best friend, I just lost him about a year and a half, 2 years ago, is Tony Pastor, and Tony Pastor Jr. might have read about Tony. He directed Silver Surfer, Spider-Man,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
all our Stan Lee stuff. He did part of the X-Men stuff. Dan Hennessy was my main voice director along with Karen Gura, and I just love those people. I just love those people. They're great people. Anyway, and you guys are in Ohio.
Jeez, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Now, listen, I don't know if I told you before, but I'm a dual citizen. I'm an American Canadian, and I'm proud of both countries. And without Canada or without America being a strong democracy, we're all in trouble. Trust me. Like Canada, England, anywhere, Australia, Germany. It's America has to survive, and it's kind of like it's almost like being in the X-Men. We gotta save the world. Anyway, so but yes, Tony ended up being my best friend, and we worked together. And I was down living in LA, and we were working with Stan. It's like, and Stan, he called Tony, but he never called me Tony because I'm a Tony. So he's like, I'm gonna call you Krog. And I go, Krog. He goes, yeah, the character you're doing. I'm like, oh yeah, forgot about that. And I was this big blue character, and it freaked Stan out because I put a bunch of candies in my mouth, and Krog would go, and you hear the candies going crushing around. It was really cool. So Stan goes,
wow.
Tony, did you guys use a computer to do that? He goes, no, that's his stupid voice. Tony was like my bestie, and we did a ton. We did Seventh Portal. We did what was that one? There's a bunch. Can't remember.
Wow.
All
It's incredible, you saying that, Chris Potter did the voice before you did, which, I had no idea until we were researching this. Me and the guys here, we grew up watching this show, adored this show, never ever really noticed that the person voicing Gambit changed, but you did notice a change, and the voice didn't change, just the way it was delivered seemingly, like got deeper, raspier, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's funny because they go, listen, we're going to have a lot more conflict with Wolverine, so we need you to bring down the tone a little so you can be a little more, because Chris had a high Gambit way up here, and then someday he'd be down here, because he changed up and down. And then they wanted me to go a little more, as you remember from the video games, Gambit don't be doing that. Gambit
wow.
fight, right? And I did that. And then, of course, you guys know that I also in some of the video games, I voiced Wolverine,
Right.
because Cal wasn't available. So I ended up, okay, bub. Yeah, when the first day I got there,
Damn.
I'll tell you the real deal.
Yeah.
I got there and they go, hey, can you do Wolverine? And I go, sure, I can do anybody. It doesn't matter. And they're like, oh, great. Okay. Because Cal can't make it. I'm like, can't make it? Yeah. I'm like, well, why don't you just, do a phone patch? I mean, Cal is Wolverine, basically. Although he's the actual third Wolverine. You know that, right?
No.
Was it
you
third?
guys. Well, yeah, there was one in 1968. And the second one was 1988, and the guy was he's three. It was a real Australian guy.
Yeah, from Pride of the X-Men, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he say that when he was on the show? I can't
That's
remember.
what I'm trying to remember too. Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh, I don't think he knew. A lot of the guys on the show didn't know that old stuff. I only knew because Stan and I would talk and with Tony, and he'd tell me, so the backstory is, and then I came up with Spider-Man,
Wow.
just having because I was making a mess. So basically I'm the fourth Wolverine, because the video games,
Sure.
and then the second Gambit, the first Hawkeye, and that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, so I did the Avengers United. We stand with Tony and the group. We had a really good cast too for that, because I also had Lenore was Tigra. Come on, Tigra, let's get it together. And she was cool, and I love Lenore, and I love Allison Cord, who plays Jubilee, and Allison Seeley Smith, and Kat Disher. They're all really good people. There's nobody on the cast you want to ring out or anything. So,
it's funny you say that. In another interview, speaking of Allison, when we had Cal on the show, he had talked about growing up in close vicinity to her. And I feel like I've heard you say in other interviews that you grew up in close proximity to some of the other people you voiced on X-Men with. So how does that work? I would imagine that these people would be coming from all over the place, but it seems like you guys all came from the same neighborhood, or at least a chunk of you.
Oh yeah. In
Canadians
fact,
all live together real close. I guess.
like cockroaches. But thing is, when I was 16, I got my license. So I was working as a producer, director, writer, and I was the first guy to play rock videos on television, so on a cable network. And my friend's dad, he was the head of Columbia Records, and he goes, Tone, and he sounded like Stan. That's so funny. Tone, come in. I got something for you. And I go, what is it? He goes, I got these things called videos, and I don't know what to do with them. They were like promo videos for all the new bands and stuff. And the very first one I played was "Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick" with Ian Drury and the Blockheads. And so I played on air. And so my boss goes, I pay you $4 an hour. I go, yeah. He goes, for the summer, you want to do cable installations? I go, well, what's that pay? He goes, I'll pay you 12. I'm like, and in the 70s, that was a shit ton of money.
Yeah, man.
I said yes. So I said, okay. So I took the gig. And so for the summer, I pick up this note and I go, Cal Dodd. Oh, cool. That's the guy that's not X-Men at the time. He had a show called Circus where he was a singer. And so I go and I installed it, and he had the worst house for installing cable because it's a beautiful house and it's in an old neighborhood, and the foundation is stone, and literally it's 4 feet deep. Foundation. So I had to figure out how to drill in through the wall without missing, with only a 3-foot drill, and then shoot from the other side and nail that hole. It was only about half an inch, less than 3/4, and I did it. Like
so
yeah.
So you were the inspiration for Armageddon then, having to drill the.
No, I don't know about that, but anyway, so yeah, so I then I ran into Cal later on, like long before the X-Men, and we were doing commercials together. And every time, this is God's honest truth, every time I'd be getting an audition for a jazz singer thing, because I can sing. You guys will know. You guys will really find out. By the way, I am the third Tony the Tiger.
Oh, well, trust me, I know.
The first one was actually Dallas McKenna. Look at this stupid wire. Dallas McKennan from 1952 to 53. And then Thurl did it from 53 to 2005. And in 2004, I was working with him, and we were doing this thing, and I was doing the taglines like, all inspection marked boxes of Tony's turbos. And so they go, sit down, we got Thurl for 15. I'm like, this is childhood hero, you're a foul one, Mr. Grinch, right?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like that's, not just Tony the Tiger. I mean, this guy was amazing. Did a lot of cartoons. And I was lucky enough to grow up as well with Len Carlson. And if you look up Len, he was the voice of Ho, 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 Green Giant, and then a whole bunch of characters. We did tons together, lots of cartoons. And, I've probably done, I think my IMDb only shows a few hundred. I think there's well more than that. Anyway, I think on Sailor Moon, I did like 290 voices. Do you realize you've done a ton of voices? And I go, yeah. He goes, so he had all the videos. And I swear to God, he had 290. He goes, there's more, but I can't source them out. And even I hear them and I go, oh yeah, I think I did that, but I can't remember. It's too many.
Wow.
Anyway, but yeah, so I go and I install Cal Dodd's cable TV.
But you also you say you grew up in close proximity to all these other people that you were just talking about.
Pretty well. I mean, Cal was probably the closest, literally, I'm going to say a mile, not even half a mile.
Wow, that's crazy.
Allison and I worked together when we were kids, and I totally forgot about it. Then we went on this thing called the Dreams Take Flight, where we took a bunch of either terminally ill or poor children down to Disney World. This was a cool story too. Disney World, Air Canada would fly all these kids down, and a lot of them were terminal. And I was working with my buddy Dan Gallagher, and we always got, every year for 9 years, I always got the kids that were going blind from cancer. And your heart just rips out of your chest and you cry a little.
Right.
Try not to let them hear you. And so I just finished Street Fighter versus X-Men, the first one. And there was a little kid. He's blind. I got his hand. We're walking along. We had a group of kids. And he goes, "Can you do the voices?" And I say, "Gambit, don't do the voice right now, you little No, I didn't say that. I'm going to kill your ass. You're going to get a card in the eye. And the kid he was so sweet. There was one little girl. I asked the doctor, I said, "You know what? She's so amazing. Can I donate one of my eyes?" And he's like, "No, she's be a waste. She's not going to make it." Your heart just breaks, right?
Quite a gesture, though. Jeez.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things. You're just my heart's breaking for this kid, and I can read with one eye. Anyway, which is usually what I do. I'm like Jack. We got the glasses and yourself.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, Randy doesn't have glasses.
Yeah.
No, I did.
He's not cool.
He's got
like
glasses,
us.
but they're full of beer. Anyway, yeah.
Those are also mine.
Watch it. Anyway, so so we're walking along, and he goes, I said, "But it's not coming out. We just finished it 3 months ago." And all of a sudden he goes, "You're over there." And I look over, and 200-300 feet away, there's an arcade, brand new game, Street Fighter versus X-Men.
Wow.
And I just whoa, that blew my mind. The little kid was amazing. And then I did a bunch of other voices for him, and then heard him, and he cried. No, I'm kidding. I pushed him off Space Mountain, and I'm gonna save this kid. No, the following year I went back, and man, your heart just rips out of your chest when that happens. So
yeah. It's horrible.
Good on you for doing that, though. I mean,
it was
awesome.
good. It was wrenching, but it was good. Yeah. So I mean, I've been lucky, man. I feel blessed all the time. As a kid, I'm also a accomplished musician, composer, writer, director.
Oh, yeah.
I've got 50 shows, but 9 that are ready to go. And I'd actually asked Steve Buscemi to star in one of them, and he said, "Okay, I'll do it." And then,
wow.
And COVID hit. Well, I think one of my best friends in the world is Dominic Chianese. You know who that is?
No.
Uncle Junior from The Sopranos.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And Sunday, God bless his wife just left us, but he called yesterday, and we spent an hour and a half on the phone. We've been talking. We talk every other day, but we played music together for 7 years, and it was just one of the most beautiful things. We shot a film together, and he's just a lovely man. I was playing a busker, a musical busker, and he was playing the other busker, and it was really fun. But so anyway, I get an Instagram message from David Preval. You know who that is, right? Richie Aprile. So
who was it? I'm sorry.
Richie Aprile from The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotcha.
And originally, his first movie, I think, was Mean Streets with De Niro and Harvey Keitel, and he's one devil of an actor, amazing. So, I call him. I had his number, so I call him, and I go, "Hi, David, it's Tony." He goes, "Hey, what's happening?" He goes, "How's Dominic?" And I said, "I'll fill you in," and it was great. We talked, and then he said, "Dominic says you do a lot of voices," and I go, "Oh God, yeah." I said, I've been lucky enough the last few years to make a living doing ADR, and for you at home, no, it's automated or automatic dialogue replacement. And so they'll bring me in, and if somebody's not available, that's my fun one, because then I go in and I replace their voice, on Tulsa King, right? Or on Tulsa King, we're doing ADR, and my friend says, "Hey, can you do Stallone's voice?" And I go, "In my sleep, I mean, I got sued by him, but yeah, sure." So I did. We did a pickup line, and so David's like, I said, "Yeah." One time I was with Dominic, and some comedian was doing Jim Gandolfini's voice. Dominic turned to me, he goes, "Wait a minute, you're the king of this. Can you do it?" I mean, I'm no Matt Friend. He's really good, but I said, "Yeah, I think I can do it." "Well, no, I've never done his voice." So I thought I go. So I turn and go, "This gets dirty, kids. Tune out." Here we go. So I say, Uncle June, I love you, but you just fucking piss me off. I'm gonna throw you down these fucking stairs and stab you fucking hard." And David just cracked up. He goes, "Oh my God."
Shit.
Yeah, and I turned to David and I go, "I'm gonna tell you something, fuckface." I did that to Al Sapienza. I played with Tommy Waits a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. We played at a pub in Queens, New York, and our special guest was a surprise party for well, not the party itself, but it was a surprise because Tom and this guy and Dominic and all these guys grew up together and did plays together with Al Pacino and everything. And it was Kelsey Grammer.
Oh,
so-
I'm so jealous, man.
No, I've been to he's a cool dude. I've been to his place and he's wonderful. And we got to play, but Al Sapienza came out, who played Mikey Paul Meese, which was Dominic's right hand man in The Sopranos, right? And so Mikey comes over and I go, "Hey, Mikey, how are you?" He goes, "Oh, that's a really good Jim." I go, "Listen, I understand you're suffering from fuckface-itis." Oh man, you're freaking me out. This is so good. So he says, we improv that whole thing. Don't fucking interrupt me. We had a great time. It's so much fun, man. So yeah, I've been lucky, man. I've been doing.
Wow.
Oh God, I've done. I think we're close to 680 celebrity replacements, something like that.
That's
So-
insane.
I didn't know there was that
when
many.
you do that, yeah,
What was
when-
that?
I didn't know there was that many.
Yeah. Oh my God. Are you kidding? Like, have you guys seen? Oh, this is a cool movie. Have you guys seen this is a cool story? Ballad of a White-tailed Deer Hunter. Have you seen that with Josh Brolin? It's on Netflix. It's freaking funny, and it's a kind of a takeoff. It's Jody Hill, the director. He's hilarious as hell, and it's a takeoff on these hunting shows, right?
Okay.
So he goes, "Hey Tony, I'm like the voice I'm looking for the opening of the movie is there's this announcer. I've been watching this outdoor channel and this sportsman channel, right?" And he goes, "It's the American, he's a gun enthusiast American." I go, "You mean American marksman?" He goes, "That's the voice." And I go, "That's me." And he goes, he goes, "I got the right guy." So my friend Dan had brought me in to do that. So those are the kind of jobs I really like, because you go in, you get paid for a whole day and you're there for 7 minutes.
Jeez,
So
man.
cool.
And-
We're in the
Big-
wrong business,
Yeah.
boys.
I know.
Yeah.
Any Saints in Newark? I was literally 6-7 minutes recording the there's a scene where where he's listening to a boxing match, and it's like from the 1940s, and it's like, and Dempsey takes a shot to the head, it's like, and I was done in minutes, and then they put on David Chase, who came on the Zoom, and he's like, "Tony, have you talked to Dominic?" I go, "This morning." It was his birthday that day. It was Dominic's birthday. "Can I get his number?" And I go, "Sure." It's like David Chase. So yeah, it was really cool, man. I got some cool stories.
That is
Oh, it
so
sounds like
Yeah.
it. But as far as ADR goes, I little hazy on exactly how that works, and I know there's probably many different avenues on how it works. But essentially, so is it like a celebrity say comes in, does a scene or does some work, and then they need to redo it? Like something didn't record right, they can't get them back in, then they call you guys in.
There's a lot of that, and there's also regular looping. ADR and looping is the same thing, where they'll have background actors, but they don't want to pay them as principal because it costs too much money. So what they can do is they can bring in a group of 6, we'll say 3 men, 3 women, or whatever it takes, right? Super Troopers was fun. Super Troopers 2, did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm all over that place. So all those Canucks, and it was great. So they'll bring us in a group, and we'll fill in for all the voices in the background. But then they'll go, "Oh, his line is really messed up." And director goes, "Can you do it?" "Yeah, sure." And I was working on a movie called The Promise. I don't know if you've ever seen that. And the director is Terry George. So this is the conflict between Armenia and Turkey back in 1915, right? So it's pretty heavy. It's all accented. Me and Nicholas Guest, Christopher Guest's brother. Nicholas, I love, because Nicholas was in Trading Places. You know that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
He was one of the preppies, So, and Nick's a great actor, and he and his brother do multiple voices. Plus, they speak a lot of languages. They've been all over the world, right? And so we spoke in accented and normal German, Italian, Greek, Egyptian. Yeah, and there's not a lot of accents I can do in this world. Almost everyone. You name one, I do it.
I actually had a question about that, because I'd heard you say that before, and I heard you do a demonstration on another show, like where if you go a little bit, farther south, it takes on this kind of a sound. If you head a bit to the west, it sounds like this. And you had said, I mean, just what you said now, there's not an accent I can't do. How? Like, do you sit down with each and every one of these and work them out, or is your ear just that sharp?
It's that sharp. It's kind of like born with it. And to understand where everything, when you're you're into it. Like I'm in a really like, if I did my 23andMe and it's like, I'm actually, well, look, I haven't even been the sun or darker than most. Like, I'm definitely darker than Jack.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Lily ass Jack.
I'm pasty.
you probably Irish, aren't you?
You got it. I was just gonna say.
So I'm like a super mix. So my dad was born in Malta, but we did our 23andMe, and his is more prominent, but I'm like Sicilian, then black from Northern Africa.
Wow.
And Canaan, which is where Israel and Palestine, there are really only one people, to be honest. And then we had Balkan, and then Asian, and there's some Turkish, Greek. And then from my mother's side, she was born in Scotland, so she's got a Scottish accent, you bastards. And then, but both grandparents are Irish. And then I think the grandfather grew up in New York. The grandfather, great-grandfather, one of them was born here, and then they grew up for a bit here, and then went back to Ireland and went to Detroit. And so you get this mix of accents, and that's what allows me, I guess, those things. And having a super musical ear, you can also dial in. So I remember I picked up, I was in an agent's office, and I was like reading this script upside down, and I go, "What is that?" And she goes, "What it is not for you." I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "They're looking for an African." I go, "Which country?" She goes, "Africa." I go, "That's a continent. What country?" She goes, "Sudan." I go, "I can do that accent." She goes, "No, you can't." I said, "Yeah, I can." She goes, "How?" I said, "Well, the guy at the parking lot across the street from the network I work for, he's from there."
Oh, that's convenient.
And I talk to him all the time, and he's like a really good friend, And so she goes, "No, you can't." I go, "Pick it up." I go, "The king has now left the tribe and must go back in time." And she's like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." I said, "Well, you've seen everybody on your roster." I said, "Call the guy." So she called the producer, and he goes, "Yeah, I've seen about 300 people." And she goes, "Well, I have a guy." It doesn't tell him. So I show up, and he goes, "Hi, who are you?" And I said, "Tony Daniels." He goes, "Oh, you're with Nat Geo." I go, No, I'm your announcer." He goes, "There's no fucking way you are." Because I hired a guy from Sudan. I go, "Nope."
Take a look at my 23andMe, man.
Surprise!
So yeah, and I had to show him it. So, but it was funny because he was like, "Oh my God," he says, "Well, we got to get this done. I've been looking for like months." And he says, "How the hell did you learn that?" I go, "Oh, my little friend Zaudu is from there in Ethiopia." I hate you. And in fact, I was talking to my friend Fabiana, and we worked on 1923 in Yellowstone. On 1923, I actually, the night before, me and her and Scott White, we had to learn how to speak Swahili because they only had a number of Swahili actors, and we still had to speak in Swahili. So tafadili, thank you. And
Wow.
and we learned, and then and even the actors from there. In fact, when I worked on Marco Polo, this is great. We had a bunch of actors that were from I guess where were they? They were all Mongolian, right? So
Okay.
so I learned the night before, I'm learning like serious ass Mongolian. And it's not like, some languages come from other, Latin, whatever,
Sure.
French, Italian, they're all Latin, and you got your Arabics and Semitics. Anyway, Mongolian is its own language. It's an originating language. It's one of the original languages. So I'm doing this stuff, and we get in there, and the Mongolians are like, "What the hell? Oh my God, that's like ancient Mongolian. Where the hell did you learn that?" And they go, "We can't even say that." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's the way it is." So yeah, very interesting.
Can't
Is
speak
there
it, don't get the job, I guess.
is there a certain accent or something you find like harder to do than others, or is it just kind of once you get into it, you're good?
Well, let me take you around the world for a moment here, Randy.
Oh,
So
boy.
start in Scotland, you bugger, right? And we're in Scotland, and you got to pull your kilt up because the sheep are going nuts, right? Then we go to Ireland, all right? And then you're in the middle of Ireland, right? And you start in Dublin. Then we can go to Norrar, which is Belfast, and you learn that really there, right? All right. Then you're back on the boat, and you're across, and you're in Liverpool, and all of a sudden you're John Lennon, and you can't figure out
Oh,
what
wow.
people don't understand, right? And then you go to Newcastle with Brian Johnson from AC/DC is from very Scottish. He's got quality way of speaking, and now you're in the Midlands, like Lancashire and Worcestershire and all the shires, right? And then you're in London proper, which is wonderful. But if you go North East London, you've got a Cockney accent because you got a bunch of bastards end up in fucking Australia. That's what you sound, right? And then you go across the channel and you're in France. All of a sudden you're floating on the boat. It's wonderful, right? You leave there, you go to Spain, and you become a very tight and wonderful bullfighter. It's amazing. And then you go up to Sweden and all the Norwegian countries and all that, and you learn how to do that really quickly if you don't burn a pancake or two. It's amazing, right? And then we could keep going for the whole world.
Oh, we are not worthy.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
That
just
is amazing.
thank you. It's amazing. And my buddy Ellen Dubin, she was in. You guys have seen Napoleon Dynamite. You
Oh,
guys,
sure.
absolutely.
So you know the mother that buys all the Tupperware of Uncle Rico. You will date that boy. That's one of my best friends in the world.
Really?
She and I and Allison have done work together and hang out together. And she's like, like one of my besties. And one night we finished recording something, and my buddy Michael took us out for dinner, and we go to this restaurant, and we get there, and this Sri Lankan Indian waiter guy comes up and he goes, "It is you!" And he goes, "You got to hear this guy. Take my group around the world." So I'm like, oh my God. So,
What have I done?
minutes. Yeah, 4 minutes and probably like 5,000 accents. It was crazy,
Wow.
It was just, yeah. And they were like, so dinner's on us. And my friend was like, wow, we got to take you more on.
Starts doing it at the McDonald's drive-through, like, "Sir, just pay for the Big Mac."
But going back to that movie, the Promise. So I've got the director Terry George, who's from Belfast, Ireland. Belfast is not right, totally like that, right? And he's like, "All right, so Tony, I need you to do this general's voice. He's Turkish, right?" And then he had this big general, he had this big voice, right? And he says, "Now you have to. I need the line redone this way because we're not understanding his words. Number one. Number two is we're changing a couple of words so if you can make it fit the flaps, right?" I'm like, "Okay." So I'm listening, and then I stop and I'm thinking, and he goes, "Did you understand?" And I go, "Yeah, Terry, I've got to convert your Irish brogue, your Nor-Ire brogue, into Turkish. Totally different cadence." He's like, "Geez, I never thought about that." I go, "Kind of cool, yeah."
What an amazing
It was
talent,
one of my favorite.
man.
Oh, thank you, and you'll love the music too. I should share some of the music.
Well,
with you guys.
that's actually where I was going to go next. Yes, I would love you to share some music with us. Cal, when we were talking to him, he sent us his CD, and that was awesome to listen to. But
He's
you-
a hell of a singer. I like I said earlier, when I book or when I get an audition for like a jazz singer, I go, "Get Cal, dummy."
he's good, isn't he? Damn, he's good. But so are you. At the age of 11, was asked to join a professional band. How old were the guys that asked you to be in their band with them?
Well, if I heard you correctly, I think all the other guys were like 25, 30, and I was 11. And my dad was proud because I was making out with some mean older ladies.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
That's my boy.
That's incredible. It's
But
incredible.
it said it more like this. That's my boy. What is that? Yeah, it was incredible. But I mean, I've been playing, and in fact, I think, but I dumped out of playing for a long time because I was, and I was more of an on camera. In the beginning, I was on camera and doing all this stuff. But then I fell into doing more voice, and of course, you have a lucrative career. You don't want to dump on that, so you stay with it, right?
Right.
And I really enjoyed that. And then I was 16, 17. I had a rock band. A bunch of my buddies actually were all still good friends, and we would tour with a couple of Canadian bands called Harlequin and stuff. And then I'd go out with Rush and Triumph and stuff as a friend. Go out and spend a week on tour with them, and then you'd hook up with Alice.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I'd get back, and then I'd be playing with my band, and we'd open for like Harlequin and FM and all these guys, and we'd have a really good time because it was cool. And then you're getting all these girls. It was amazing.
One of the many benefits, I'm sure.
Oh man.
But Triumph.
What was the name of the band?
Lucifer.
Ooh. Intrigued. I'm intrigued.
You never guessed where we rehearsed. In a church.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
That is so rock and roll. I love it.
Yes. Bravo.
Until one day we showed up with our jackets, and the minister lost it.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, so that was that. But but no, I loved playing, and then things dropped out for a while, and I played with some more bands, and then I had a country band. I was working in radio. Where was it? Q107. I was working at one of the biggest rock and roll stations in North America. So Q107, I was doing mornings. I mean, that's where you make serious dough. That's why I started doing voices, because I was doing tons. This is before, this is before X-Men even. My very first cartoon was Little Rosie. It was Roseanne Barr had this cartoon called Little Rosie.
I remember that show.
At first, I booked a little kid. Hi. And then they went, I said, I don't know if I can keep it up for the whole show. So they booked a real little kid. And then Bruce Peary left the show. He was playing the dad. And so they had me play the dad. And then X-Men came along, and that was really cool. And a bunch of other shows. But yeah, those were fun times with starting the stuff there. But radio was great. I mean, I met everybody. And then, like I said, I grew up playing ball hockey. Canadian, eh? So we're out there playing ball hockey, and I'm playing with these guys. And I went to high school with one of the guys. His name was Russell Emmett. He was like one of my best friends in the world. We used to. I know more jokes than all three of you put together. Trust me. And it was him.
I have no doubt.
I got a new joke. It's like, okay, I got a blonde joke for you, right? The blonde goes out to she gets a job as a phys ed teacher, and one day the kids are kicking a ball around, big ball in the field, and she notices one little kid at the other end, and she feels really bad. She walks over and she says, "You okay?" And he goes, "Yeah." And she says, "You can go around and kick the ball with the other boy." He goes, "No, I can't." "Why?" "Because I'm the fucking goalie, you idiot."
That's good.
Yeah, he and I we must exchange. So I never so we're in high school together. I never my other buddy was working part-time for Triumph. So we go to the show at Maple Leaf Gardens. And I go, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. They're brothers." And then I go to Rick, I go, "Wait a minute. Didn't we play ball hockey together?" "Yeah." So we used to all play ball hockey together. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah.
That's really cool as hell.
Yeah, it's like a Canadian thing, Hey, car, the net,
Sure.
We did a lot of that growing up, and so you intertwined. And then fast forward, Rick and I became close friends, and then I co-produced and produced with him about 8 to 12 records. It was pretty cool.
Damn. And what was it? Maybe 3-4 years ago that you were nominated for a Grammy Award?
Grammy.
Yeah, a couple of Grammys. One of my partners, Cassandra Kubinski, look her up, guys. She's amazing.
Yeah.
We met on a Kohl's voiceover job.
Like the department store Kohl's.
Yeah. And how I'm always the king of buttons. So how I got, because I was at Second City, and I'm an improver, and I worked with Colin Mockery and all the guys. They're all amazing. They're 10 times better than me at that kind of improv. I'm really good at leave me alone improv. I'll come up with my own stuff. I don't want to follow a formula, but those guys are amazing. Anyway, so yeah, we had such a interesting time. I'm trying to remember the whole story, but it's ridiculous. But the ADR thing. Okay, where were we? We were. I'm losing my mind.
We were talking about music.
Yes, somebody just dialed in. I'm like, leave me alone. Anyway, so and it's I think it's my manager out in LA. That's why I was like, oh shit. Yeah, so music has always been there, and the Triumph guys, and then you're out with them for a week, and then you end up with 38 Special and Molly Hatchet.
Oh man.
What the man?
I've had dudes. I'm like 20 years older than you guys at least, and I've had like a hell of a life.
Yeah, but we've talked to so many people that are even more than 20 years older than us, and they can't sit here and say all this shit that you're saying. This is incredible. Oh, I was hanging out with Kelsey Grammer the other day. What'd you say, Tony? I'm sorry, I talked over you.
We're just getting started, boys. No, well, it's not so much about the name dropping, but because some of these people like Dominic, Dominic's just been amazing. Like, just so loving and caring and sharing with you. And so it's not about conquest and about, oh, guess who I know. It's more about this person's really cool and they impart amazing vibes to you where you grow with them. And like we're going through a little thing here in my family, and because of Dominic, I've got all these angels around me right now, and it's amazing, that they fight for your aura and for your energy and your power, and you feel really good. So
That's
yeah,
amazing to have.
yeah, it's really nice, and then you end up in Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh, was that out loud?
You can't get out.
Preaching to the
Ouch.
choir, my friend. Preaching to the choir.
Felt like that was a little bit of a dig,
Yeah.
maybe there, Tony.
No, actually, one of my good friends is here on Broadway, and I'm really upset because I haven't got to see him yet because he's in technical rehearsals. And it's Dorian Harewood. You guys have seen Full Metal
Mhm.
Jacket, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Alabama Black Snake, baby. So
Oh,
Dorian's
wow.
here doing, yeah. So Dorian and I toured together. We met on a film. We were working on this film, and then he goes, "Hey man," and Dorian's currently the voice of Tonight on NBC. You know that
Yeah.
voice.
Really?
Dorian, yeah. So Dorian's like, "Hey man, we'll get together as soon as technical's over." I'm like, "Okay, please," because I've been dying to see him. And when we toured together doing music, it was amazing because he's a crazy ass great singer, piano player, writer, and I just love all his music. You can look up his music online and really just it's kind of like right now it's like 90s, 80s funky stuff, but he does everything. We played everything from the Beatles to you name it when we toured together, and it was a lot of fun. We played casinos and getting to live the lifestyle because here I am with my friend who's like a bigger celebrity. I'm just some dumbass voiceover, and this guy
Wow.
was like,
Don't
You're
play
not.
yourself
No,
down,
you're
man. What the hell? You're just as
yeah.
much a celebrity, I'd say.
"Oh, thanks, man. We had so much fun." And then but the one thing I do like, I like coming to some of the Comic Cons. I haven't been to one in Ohio yet, which like really freaking me out. I mean, you guys
They're
even
the
have
best.
one? I don't know.
Yeah.
We've got a few, yeah.
Okay, because I was hoping to go to Dayton because that's where Dorian's from. We played one night in Dayton, and this is cool because Dorian's African American, and there's a lot of African Americans there. And this old man, he say, "Oh, you Dorian's manager?" I go, "No, I'm his guitar player," and he goes, "I don't know, man. But Dorian, a white boy, get about it." I said, "Well, wait till the end of the show and tell me about it." So he comes over at the end of the show. He goes, "What the fuck? You got the black in you. You was rocking out there. You had the soul, and I was wrong."
Like, let me show you my 23 in me.
"Let me show you my thing." And he was really sweet, man. It was great. He hugged me. He's like, "Man, never judge a book by its cover." I go, "Exactly." 'Cause,
Wow.
I mean, if you really, here's the funny thing. If y'all do your 23andMe, I guarantee you're gonna find some African shit in y'all. It's like
I've heard
crazy.
that before. I've heard that from other people. Say, yeah.
We're all one blood, one people. Otherwise, everybody's blood would be a different color. I'd say, like
Sure.
So we're all one people. And it's kind of cool to when you get those realizations. You're like, man, and that's why doing a show like the X-Men and stuff is such a cool thing because that is part of the vision that Stan had and all the creators had. Chris Claremont, by the way, one of the most beautiful people, and it's really funny. That's why I love doing the Comic Con. So I was going to allude to. I get all over the place, just so you know. I got ADHD. Anyway, so I was down in Albuquerque doing a Comic Con. This kid comes up and he goes, "Hey, Mr. Daniels, can I have your autograph?" I go, "Sure, give me $100, bitch." Anyway, so no. So he gets an autograph and he goes, he says, I said, "So you're from Albuquerque?" He goes, "No, I'm from the Bronx." And I go, "The Bronx?" I go, "You living out?" And he goes, "No, I'm visiting a friend. I live in New Jersey." And I go, "What the hell are you doing here?" And he goes, "My buddy's an actor and I came down to see him." He didn't tell me it was Jeremiah Bitsui from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He didn't tell me till later, the bugger. So he said, "Here's my card. Call me when you're in New York." And I don't know. Okay. So a couple of weeks went by and I went, I'm going to honor that thing and I'll call this kid. And now we're business partners in production. He's a genius and he's the coolest dude. And he just comes up with some of the wackiest stuff. So we're working on 3 films right now that I'm producing, and it's kind of interesting, you just you never know when you do these things. And again, that's why I like the Comic Cons, because you meet really cool people. And the hard part is, I had the agents a couple of times get upset with me. Why don't you take money off that kid? And I go, he's autistic. What are you, an idiot? I get mad. Like I guess I did San Antonio after that, because this was before COVID. And Giotti Amge was there, and that's the smallest woman in the world, from
American Horror Story.
And we're close. Now she's in Pittsburgh right now visiting her agent. So, so when you find people, and then we stay in touch, we talk all the time, and she's beautiful. I wrote a song for her sister and her sister's husband, and it was during COVID, and it was about, coming together and then fight this disease so that people won't die around the world.
Wow.
Yeah,
because again, these are all people, all friendships you've made from doing the con circuit.
Heck yeah.
Incredible.
It's amazing.
I would say so.
Randy, what is that? That's not an 87 you have there, is it?
What, the back here in the background?
No, the microphone.
Oh, I have no idea.
No, I'll just say it's not. It was a cheap mic I sent him home with.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. I got the starter kit special over here.
He needs an upgrade. We're getting there. But
what you got there? That's not a Rode. What do you have?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
That's a Rode.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm good at this.
What about you? What do you got?
This is a 416. I got lots of mics here. I think I have like 15 mics, but I've got even for stage, I've got like, for performing music, I got 4 different mics, because sometimes I don't want to work too hard, blow your voice out, especially when you're singing 3 or 4 nights a week. It's bad. So
right.
But like I said earlier, my buddy Cassandra, when we did that commercial for Kohl's, see, I never finished the story. We're doing the commercial for Kohl's, and how I got cast was she's vacuuming, so it's and she's vacuuming, right? And she's got to sing. The sound effect was going on in the background, and she's got to sing really bad, which is hard for a good singer, right? So she's singing "What a Feeling," and she's doing it really bad. And the line that got me hired, which we couldn't use in the commercial, was the Kohl's back to school special. The only thing that doesn't suck in this commercial. Yeah, they go, you can't use it, but it got you the gig, and I'm like, cool, because that's all that improv stuff. So yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Tony, when is your book coming out, man?
No shit.
Well, there's part of my book I got to be careful of. and probably get clipped by the mob.
Oh yeah, just a chapter of blank pages.
Yeah. I was thinking about writing one, but I might get. This is funny. I might bug Rebecca Chianazzi, Uncle Junior, Dominic, his daughter. Rebecca's a hell of a writer. I was like, hey, why don't you ghost me and we'll write my book, because there's a lot.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky. Chad, you think about the stuff I've done. It's crazy. Like radio, working with Howard Stern, and just all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
People go, you were with Howard? Yeah.
Was that during the time like Billy West was there? What time were you
right
there?
after Billy left? It was in I was working with like I didn't spend a lot of time there. I'd go in every so often, but then I'd do everything remotely and send it to them. But
Okay.
and I love Fred. Fred Norris is just one hell of a guy. Robin and I are I love Robin, and
That's nice.
Howard's the weirdest guy of all, because he doesn't remember who you are. Like Ronnie and I were good. Ronnie, the limo driver, right? We were good buddies too, as well. I mean, I love Gary Delvate, Baba Booey, he's a good guy. Sal and Richard, amazing. And then a whole bunch of the other support staff, Jason Kaplan, all the guys. They're all great. But the funny thing was Ronnie loved me because I was the voice of NASCAR for like 9 or 10 years, right? Tonight on NASCAR on Fox, that guy.
Holy
And so
shit.
Ronnie was like, hey man, I loved that last night. That, whatever it was, the Camping World truck, and there was a whole bunch of that stuff. So it was good. And then my buddy, who was my boss at the network, I've been still working at right now. We'll see if that ends soon. He ended up going down and working for Mark Cuban at Access TV, which was back then called HDNet and became Access. So I stayed on with him for like 11 years, and it was great. So we were doing as I was working with Boss Rutan and Kenny Rice, doing Inside MMA with Boss Rutan and Kenny Rice, you know, and then a bunch of the rock shows tonight on Rock Central, you know, and just doing all that crap. So it was good. Yeah,
I've heard you say you can do a mean Wolfman Jack. That's just kind of what I was hearing in your voice there.
well, that was a weird story because when I was a little kid, I had met this. I was playing in a nightclub, and this guy comes over. He goes, "I want you on my radio show." And this guy had a deep voice, Tom Rivers. He was he came to Canada because he didn't want to go to Vietnam, so he came to Canada. Thank God for amnesty, man. Anyway, so I went in, and he came and saw me at a nightclub, and I went into the radio station. I'm sitting in awe of this guy who's, you know, very famous, and
Sure.
he's really good. And so he goes, "We'll get you a little internship here," which was great. So then one day I'm in, and it was a Saturday night. And I know this because my dad had to drop me off because I didn't know how to get there by subway. It was just crazy. So I went in, and it was like 9 o'clock, and it was Wolfman Jack would do simulcasted show all over the world from California, and it was called Pirate Radio, basically. But every so often he'd come to Chicago, New York, you know, of course, LA, and then, you know, Texas and stuff. So he'd come to Toronto. And so he came in, he was really hammered.
I'd like to say I'm surprised, but it seems like it might suit him. Yeah.
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And I said, well, I can do his voice. And like, how old are you? I said, I think I was 13 at the time, 14.
Damn.
Before I started doing TV. He's like, holy crap. Okay, I'll tell you what to say. So I did 3 stop sets while they poured coffee into him. And then I go to leave, and he goes, no, you sit with me the whole night. All right, let's go. It's Wolfman Jack. We got some heavy duty songs coming up. All right, who's this? And then one of the stops, I'm like, 13, 14 years old. I think it was 14 because, I was 14 because now I remember because there was a girl come, hi, Wolfman, can I have this song? And I go, what's your name? Debbie, how old are you? How old are you? 18. Got a younger sister. And they're going, no. Oops. Now they're thinking it's him, right? They got a 18-year-old asking for a younger sister. Oh my God. Anyway, it was fun. And I sat, and he goes, don't go anywhere. You sit with me. And then he gave me a signed, I still have it somewhere. It's a signed autograph saying,
how cool, man.
You sounding good. Keep practicing, he wrote. Not practicing, practicing. Really cool.
One of those super awesome, like in the industry terms we're not privy to know. Not practicing, practicing.
I mean, I shouldn't even said that story, but now it's okay. I mean, it's like, but it's past its prime. It's after the 25-year public domain. And and again, like my first concert ever. Look at my glasses are all foggy. Jesus H. My first concert was George Harrison.
Oh, you lucky bastard, you.
No, I was a kid. I was working. That was my Beatle because, I'm a lead player. And I mean, I can play anything, but lead is the thing, and I wanted to be George, but when I was growing up, they were like, no, you look like John. I'm like, I don't look like John. But there are shots of me where you go, holy crap, did I ever? And then the only time I ever believed it was Velotte had just come out, and Julian Lennon was our guest on the radio show. So I came in late at night, and Julian walks in, and he goes, he was amazing. And I'm like, shit, that's Julian Lennon. And he goes, hey, Tony, you remind me of my dad.
Wow.
Like, whoa. But then
I can see it. I mean, I can see it.
I do
talking
too,
to
yeah.
you here.
I mean, you can tell, So I ended up doing, my buddy Paul Lavoie got me a job to be John Lennon in a commercial. They flew me out to LA, and I did his voice, and it was amazing. So, and I had to watch, I found video of him that they bought, and I matched up. And it was really cool because I'm on set and I'm doing the John thing. And I said to the director, I said, now don't forget in post, you got to flip the image around. He goes, my image. And he goes, why? I go, because I'm following his movements, but that's the opposite. And he goes, you're a genius. And I go, I've been doing this since I was a kid.
That's incredible.
Oh, man.
Hi. Hello.
What? You guys have a little kid?
Hello.
No, thank God.
That's
Randy,
weird.
put your kids away.
Yeah, right.
touched my buttock.
What?
Whoa! Get this kid out of here.
Yeah.
Some of the comic books have naked pictures in them.
Oh wow!
Okay.
No, no naked pictures.
Oh,
Can I ask you
man.
really quick about? And I know people are having trouble seeing it because I'm having trouble seeing it. But there's a guitar on the wall behind you there. Can you tell me a little bit about that guitar?
There's a couple of them
three
back
of
there.
them. Three.
Oh
red,
shit!
white,
Okay, yeah, I didn't notice that.
red, white, and blue, baby.
How patriotic!
Yeah.
All right. So the red one is a Fender Squire. That's a cool story. I was down in LA one day in the 90s, and my buddy Jeff used to run Steve's Music out of Toronto. And so I go to see him. He was the head of Guitar Center Hollywood. And we hadn't seen each other in a while. We're hugging each other. And he goes, I left you a gift at the door. Make sure you pick it up. I go, okay. So I figured it's like a box of picks or some crap,
Sure.
right? It's a freaking guitar. So, and I still have it. And then the one on the right is a Godin, which is just a regular 6-string electric. You can see that one there. Yeah, there it is. Not very light, you know. Let me turn this around. But then you can see my dirty room, man. Look at that.
Oh wow! There we
Oh,
go.
that's
yeah.
so cool.
So the middle one now. All right. So, like I said, I produce a lot of records with Rick, and every time we do a record, Rick would have a gift for me, and it was usually a guitar. I've got like 50, right? Anyway, so don't say it. Jesus sake. So that one is that's the only one in the world. That's one of a kind. It's a polypropylene body over this wood thing, and then it's really tricked out. So if I rock that out, man, I'll just blow your speakers right out of the wall. It's pretty heavy duty. So I
They
just
look
love
gorgeous.
playing. And then hang on, I'll bring one thing over though.
Sure.
I'm on pause, but don't worry. Talk amongst yourselves.
Tony will be right back after this word from our sponsors.
I'll come back with no nudity. Get
No
your hopes up.
nudity.
Right.
We can swear, but nudity is where we draw the line.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah.
What do we got there?
We got
That there's a guitar, Jeremy.
Oh,
This is-
wow.
Jeremy. Jesus H. God. I love Jeremy like a small girl. Not that one.
I don't know how to take that, Tony.
Here, I'll play you my new song.
That would be incredible.
It's not totally tuned. Let me add a little juice to this too. 1 sec.
Hi, my name is Tommy Two Tones. My buttocks hurt.
Just gonna put a little. Don't say it. It will only encourage me.
Wow, that's some reverb now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's too much for you. I was trying to find a nice soft one. I hit the wrong button. Reverb and room. Okay, there's a lexicon. I love the lexicon. Here we go.
Hello, it's nice to be here. Thank you, Lord, for helping me. Dry, wet.
I'll take out the solo. There we go. Hi, how are you? I'll just bring it down a bit. All right, so this is a song. You guys get to hear this, which is not. It's been released. My buddy Gary Troy. Hello. There we go. Hi. Is that better?
That sounds good. Yeah.
Much better. Yeah. Yeah.
Much better. There we go. Okay. So this was a song. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles. No. Anyway, this is a song I wrote. I wrote a comedy series called Microdocs, and it's for the first episode is 2 Irish guys, and I got my buddy Gary Troy, who was in Boardwalk Empire, to play the other character, and he's from Dublin, so I had to make sure my Dublin was good because I'm sitting across from him, and I'm playing a guy from Monaghan, which is where my grandfather was from, so I had to make sure it was good. So these 2 aging rock stars, so it's funny as hell, and he gets a bunch of women pregnant. One of my favorite lines is, he goes, women be throwing their panties on the stage, right? And I finally find out what Victoria's Secret was. And he goes, what is it? I go, can't tell you. It's a secret. It's like, so all that kind of really stupid, goofy stuff. And it's funny. And then so Thomas G. Waits, we were talking about earlier, he says, why don't you write a song, or a couple songs for the show? And I go, great. And I thought, right away, I'm going to do a parody comedy song or something. He goes, no, make them serious. And I go, you know what? He's right. Because then so these songs have been playing a little bit in Ireland, which is great. So I'll play you this one and then we'll oh man, I just want to hit this thing in the face right now. It's not tuning up right. Whoa. Randy's wishing me bad luck. I know it.
Sorry.
He does that. Randy, stop.
Yeah, he is.
Randy, go away, Randy. Randy.
I suggest a fine misted comb. There we go. So this one's called Another One Like You.
Okay.
Here it goes. This is for people who miss their homeland. Or Cedar Point. Oh, the seabirds tell the stories of freedom and love, and the oceans hold the secrets life above. I've got to turn off this. There we go, that's better. When the sun begins to set in a golden blue sky, and the tide carries the soul who begins to cry. Oh, how I feel. Oh, how I miss you. There could never be another one like you. I won't bore you to tears with the whole
I
thing.
didn't mean to punch the microphone, but
awesome.
damn.
Yeah, holy
good.
shit.
Yeah, it's a pretty good song. So I've been playing it around New York, and I'll play it at a couple of friends play it quite often. I'll play it like actually Cassandra Kabinski, one of my partners there, the one we met on the Coles.
Right.
We played at Moynihan Hall, which is the big train station, and next to Grand Central, of course. Grand Central's a little bigger, but it's a different kind of hub. And Moynihan serves more of New Jersey and all those places. Anyway, so we were playing in the station, in the hall, and it's like gigantic. The ceilings are like 100 feet high type thing. And 25,000, 30,000 people crossed by on both days. It was really cool. And I played that, and people were like, oh my God, what a song.
You need to write a damn book. Randy was right. You need a book.
I want to write a comic
snip
book.
that out for a minute? Randy was right. I just want to hear that a couple more times.
I hope you're recording because I'm deleting that stuff.
It's going to be censored.
Yeah, I know.
That's bad.
That was incredible, Tony.
I would have kept going, but I don't want to bore the audience. But,
The audience is not bored, bro.
We're the audience right here. We're the audience.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's incredible, man.
Jack keeps sending me naked pictures of himself on the chat here. Anyway, well,
at least they're small files, so
Yeah.
Thumbnails.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, Jack probably knows the old story. Like I feel blessed, when I was a kid, I was blessed with music and blessed with talent and a brain. And by the time I was 12, I had an 8-inch penis. I mean, it belonged to the priest, but that's different.
Oh man, this is shaping up to be just one of the best conversations we've had in a long time.
I thought it was 45 minutes. I'm driving you guys crazy.
No,
No,
dude,
you're good,
not
man.
at all. Holy
You are
shit.
good, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate you getting the guitar out and playing that song. On top of all the amazing stories,
Absolutely.
we'd love to have you back sometimes because I would love to ask you more questions. But in the meantime, I want to direct people over to TonyDaniels.com. Check out everything you got going on over there, including audition coaching. Like that's incredible, a credible thing to offer to people.
That came out of a little bit of a fun thing. A couple of friends here, they're well-known actors, and it's funny. Actors who were experts at voice, tend to see the script a little differently than somebody. So what happens is everybody's looking at a script for their on-camera stuff, and they'll go, okay, so they do it that way, and the casting directors get similar stuff, and then I look at it, or and Allison or Lenore looks at it, and it's totally different. By the way, Lenore's a great singer too, just so you know.
Really?
Oh yeah. And I'd like to do a record with her. You never know. And that's the thing. We can look at a script a little differently, and then when you do it on camera, it's a little different. I was let's see. Last week, I had some audition as a Russian. Have you guys seen? You should look this up, you guys. I think there's a trailer for it, but I don't know if anybody's played a video game called The Maze.
No.
So in The Maze, I had to play a Russian bear. So he's creepy Russian bear. Why don't you shut your face, ugly boy? You know what they say? So yeah, it's really cool. And we had a great time. And my agent called me right after. It's kind of a personal thing, but my agent called me and she said, hey, listen, I need to talk to you. It's an emergency. I'm like, oh, what did I do? Did I say something wrong in the session? She goes, this has never happened in my 30 some odd years as an agent. I go, what? She goes, they're doubling your pay. I go, what? She goes, they want to pay you for learning all the Russian, and you learned it perfectly. And I go, oh, thanks. It was really cool. That's kind of a cool thing.
Wow.
Write the book, Tony. Write the book.
Write the book, Tony, man. We're all sitting here waiting with cash in our hands.
We're getting T-shirts. Write the book, Tony. Come on.
It'll be a comic book. I know.
Graphic novel.
And it'll have a spot right here on the shelf.
In a world.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah. And then, Jeremy, did you have any more cool questions you want to get in real quick that you can swap out other stuff if you need to?
No, man, we went through everything. Everything I had here. I was just going to ask you maybe for a Gambit stinger, but other than that, like an ID, if you're able to do something like that. But other than that, no.
What can we do? Let's see. You guys have to write it for me.
Or okay, how about this? Like, hey, this is Tony Daniels, the voice of Gambit, and throw
one
Tony the Tiger in there.
One of the voices of Tony the Tiger and Gambit. This is Tony Daniels. You might know me as playing Gambit, but I got to tell you, the name is Canned Air. Remember it.
Oh,
boom!
Perfect.
Mic drop.
Oh.
This is
We'll pay you for the whole day now.
No, bring him on.
Man,
Listen, it's Al Pacino. You're listening to Canned Air, and I'll go jump in the lake, stupid. This is Sean Connery. By the way, they flew me out to Chicago last March. This is a cool story. And the promoters are like, we want you to meet Bill Shatner. I'm like, holy crap, this is like my childhood hero, right?
Right.
So they bring me over, and Bill's signing away. It's like hundreds of shirts and stuff. And they go, Bill, this is Tony Daniels. He goes, oh, come on over. And then he's like, you were born in Canada. I go, yeah. And he goes, come on, be proud. And I go, okay, yeah, I'm born in Canada. So I heard you do like millions of voices. And I go, well, thousands. And he's like, have you ever done my voice? And I go, well, technically I was supposed to do your voice for Celebrity Deathmatch, but they wanted Patrick Stewart. He goes, no way. Yeah, you can do a good Pat Stewart. I go, yeah. And he's holding my hand. This is the coolest part. So he's holding my hand, and he's just lovely. It was more than I expected, right? And I miss him, childhood hero, seriously.
Sure.
And being a Canadian originally, and all that. So I go, yes, when Bill and I did Star Trek Generations, I was the better captain, but he was the far better actor. And he goes, I can't believe you're doing that. It's amazing. So we had a great time, right? And he's like, and this is the part that got me. I was like freaking out because he goes, I'm gonna be leaving here, so I was glad I got to meet you. And I go, oh, okay, thank you. I thought he meant he was leaving that day, but he announced 2 days later he's passing on. He's gonna die. He's sick. So it kind of got
what? What?
yeah. Look it up. Last March he announced he's very ill. So at least I got to know him. He was amazing. And I said, one of the first things I said to him, I said, hey, Bill, do you remember a guy named Ted Jackson? Ted Jackson? I haven't worked with him. I go, no. Let's talk about Montreal when you were like 14 years old. He goes, oh my God, Ted was like a neighbor. I go, yeah, I ended up working with him one summer at the phone company. He was a really cool man now. But yeah, he was great. And he's like, was bragging. He goes, yeah, Bill never hung out with us. We all played football. He went to drama school. He goes,
yeah, look where he landed him, though.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like seriously, so the promoters are going, did he hold your hand that whole time? And I go, yeah, why? And they go, we paid him like, I can't remember what the money was. And he goes, he wouldn't hold our fucking hands.
Wow.
Like, it was really nice, and I got to tell you, like, that, like I said, that time I was down in, I think it was Albuquerque. Yeah, it might've been Albuquerque. I'm at the airport here in New York and I'm waiting for my flight and it's delayed, but I was sitting beside this older man. He was really nice, and I talk, and we get off the plane, and it was Chris Claremont.
Wow.
Yeah, so we ended up, I didn't even realize it, and then we ended up flying back together. And it's too bad the lounge wasn't open because I would have brought him in there. But my buddy Steve, who I was telling you about earlier, that I met in Albuquerque, and now we're kind of doing production. He was at the New York Comic Con. I couldn't go. I was working on some stuff here. I was doing ADR. And so after he finished, he called me and he goes, Chris Claremont's right here. And I go, well, go say hi for me. And he did. And he goes, so Chris goes, put him up on FaceTime. So we went up and FaceTime together. It was really sweet. And Chris,
oh, that's neat.
Chris sent me his number because I'd lost it with my old phone. So it was great. So I'm going to try and take him out for dinner because he's a one of a kind. And, he created a bunch of characters I did. So I was really happy.
Well, you're one of a kind too, Tony. I mean, Jesus. Yep. I mean, we've talked to so many voice actors over the years, but I don't think we've had any quite as talented as you. I mean, not with everything you've told us, everything I've read, everything I've heard. My God.
It's all lies, man. It's all freaking lies. No.
It's all good stuff.
Like I said, we're blessed, right? Even Randy. No, we're all blessed. So Jeremy, isn't it? It is.
It's Jeremy.
Yeah.
I think I called you Jeff earlier. I was like, oh.
That wouldn't be the first time. I've been called Jeff before, actually.
But you look like it, doesn't he? He looks like a Jeff.
I look like a Jeff?
No.
I must.
Actually,
I mean,
again,
you
kind of do. You remind me of Jeff, the actor.
Don't say Foxworthy. Don't say Foxworthy.
Fighting word.
If you go to family gatherings to meet women, you might be a redneck. It's not Foxworthy. I love him.
Thank God. Oh, nothing wrong with Jeff Foxworthy. I'm sure he's a fine fella, but
no, this is a Canadian actor. It'll come to me, and I'll go, oh, damn, I wish I'd have told you guys.
Just send Randy an email, then it'll get it.
It'll be a nude email because it's Randy.
Well, Tony, man, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for giving us so much of your time and just being an amazing dude. Like you're so freaking awesome.
Well, I hope to get to do a con in Ohio or maybe back in Michigan. It's close enough for you guys.
Hell
Wait,
yeah.
What town are you guys in?
Eastern.
Oh, Eastern?
Yep.
Jamie, who is I was just in this film. She's Eastern. She's from Ashtabula.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really close. It's right on the Erie right side.
Yeah, that's
great. People don't realize how cool it is, I mean, we all grew up in basically a region that's all like the freshwater. Most of the freshwater from the free world is right there.
Right.
And Lake Erie is amazing.
When it's not on fire, but
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's on your side, not the Canadian. Well, on the Canadian side, one time I was fishing with a friend, and I'm like, "What the hell did I hook?" Pulling it up, and I'm like, "This ain't no fish. It's a freaking dead body." And it was a dead body.
Wow.
What?
But it was a dead body of a giant fish they hadn't seen. Like,
Oh, gee.
Oh,
Thing
you
was
set
like
us
200
up on that one, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
it was like a 200-pound fish. It was like huge. They're going, this thing has not been seen in like hundreds of years. I'm like, well, how would you know? You weren't here hundreds.
You know,
I caught Nessie.
Yeah.
I was
Bastard. Yeah.
I was walking the beach of Lake Erie. This had been maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and found a seagull that was dead with a fish lodged in its throat. It had died trying to eat this fish and couldn't get it down and choked to death, it looked like.
Was it a Steven Seagull?
You know, I couldn't tell. It was pretty beat up.
Although he got mad at me one day. I was walking on the street and they were shooting. I think it was that, you know, that one with the, screw face. Remember that one? What was it? Under Siege or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds really familiar.
And I came out of the store and I walked right into a shot. And he's like, thanks a lot, man.
Oh.
Screw face.
Oh.
Come on, them all Jamaican. You know, starting up that stuff, right? Not too many Jamaicans in Ohio.
No.
No, there are not.
No. But I'm sure there's like a jerk chicken place somewhere.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's probably at least a couple of them. Chicken is very freaking popular here.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's true. It is true. All right. Well, I thank you all for having me on your show. Hi, it's Bill Clinton. Monica, I'll be right with you. Anyway. No.
Oh,
All right,
man.
Tony.
We
Well,
did do that one on the Stern Show. That was good.
Oh, I'm
And then
sure.
Jackie would write me the worst gosh dang jokes. I got in trouble. You know, it was that old joke about wiping it on the curtains. And then Tom Pianzano lost his shit with me. He's like, you're not supposed to do it. I go, he wrote it. What am I supposed to do? You know, you know, he's, you know, Howard's
Right.
like writer. So that was fun. Actually,
Seems like that should have been cut out before it got to you if it was a problem.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. But they're all good guys. So anyway, whichever. Keep us in mind if you guys see something that comes up in Ohio, because I'd love to do Ohio, man. I just
Oh, yeah.
There's
People
a fan expo coming up in April, is it, guys?
That's
in
April. That
Cleveland.
might be-
So, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love, man. I haven't been to Cleveland. Fan Expo Cleveland.
Yeah, I think that's
Hey,
in
look it
April.
up. Did you guys ever see Yin Yang Yo, that show?
I never have, no.
My God, you got to watch that. I think
Heard of it. Yeah.
tons of voices on there and working with Steve Marmel and stuff. That was one of my favorite shows to do. Craigler's in the house. Now lick my balls. Celebrities. All right, cancel. Oh, Elijah Wood. Love that kid. Charlie Cox. Charlie works with my friend Danny Trejo. I love Danny.
Yeah, there's
Alan
going to be a lot
Tudyk.
of names there.
Yeah.
Oh my, good people. Sean Astin. Alan Tudyk, who I love. He was
Oh, yeah.
and he had a hard gig once, was playing a rapist on Law and Order, and those are hard to do. Oh my God, you don't want to be doing that kind of stuff. It's really hard.
I submit for the record, we changed 10 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon to 10 degrees of Tony Daniels.
Yeah, seriously.
Close. Danny Trejo is lovely. We just did one a couple of months ago in Nashville. He's really sweet. Jason Lee, good guy. Ethan Suppley, love him. American History X.
Oh, yeah.
Because
movie.
I became kind of pals with Ed Furlong. He's really
Did you
nice.
really?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I know he's been through a ton of stuff. And then my wife did some background work on Orange is the New Black, so she was happy to know Natasha Lyonne. She's cool.
Then you got all your anime people. I've done lots of anime.
I like to rub it into them. It's like, oh, you've done some anime. It's great. I did all mine Union. Have a nice day. Wow, man, that's a Union state. Yeah, love it.
In all seriousness, Tony, when those projects you're working on and get ready to release, let us know. We'll get you on and promote the hell out of them, man.
Yeah, 100%, man. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, it's been really slow because of the everything that's happening. You know, COVID killed everything. Number one, then two.
Tell us about it.
Then we went, and then the writers, we all went on strike, and then right after that, you know, SAG, and after we went on strike, my Canadian union, the voice people have been locked out for 2 years. It's
Holy
stupid.
cow.
Damn.
Yeah, like animation they didn't lock out because it has a little bit of a different structure for the union, but it ticks you off because you're like, are you kidding me? Come on.
Right.
It's hard enough getting work as it is, but but again, like we say, we thank goodness we have good friends and people around us that try to help take care.
Amen, man.
All right. Well, I'll see you fellas later. It's really nice to be here. And
Thank you so much, Tony.
Thanks,
This is
Tony.
amazing,
Hey,
man.
Ross.
Thank you, man.
It's funny, you guys don't have that Ohio accent, which gets me.
Thank God.
Born and
That's 'cause
raised
we're
here,
in-
so
Central Ohio. That's why.
I guess
yeah,
I have.
You go a little farther north, we definitely have one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I got cousins in the Southwest. They have that whole, and they're on the side closer to like Pittsburgh and stuff. So they got that leak over, from the Pennsylvania thing that happens, right? And then you got the so like I think for a year and a half I was doing these cartoons for the Eagles. So you got to learn how to say Eagles and Warder.
Yeah,
Warder.
And Crick.
Yeah, Crick.
That and Earl. Put some Earl in the car.
Then go
Earl.
wash it.
Yeah, my cousins always say, let's go wash the car, go to the car wash.
Yeah.
Really? There's no other?
Put it in the Frigidaire.
My dad always said that. And I think he still does, and it drives me nuts. Dad, wash.
Oh, man.
Well, my wife's from the East Coast, and she beat the pop out of it. It's soda, goddammit. It's soda.
Well, I was born in Canada, so they say pop.
Yeah, that's what we say down here.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
And
what I
it's-
used to say. But
Yeah, and then soda on the East Coast, so I say soda over here. But then you get people. Here's the one that gets me about Canadians. All right, the black tar on the road, what do you call it? Starts with an A.
asphalt.
Asphalt.
Canadians say asphalt.
Hmm.
There's no ash.
No.
Get that one. So I'm in Brooklyn. This black woman says, "Yeah, he fell down on the asphalt." I go, "Are you Canadian?" She goes, "No." Where the hell did you learn that? I don't know. Ask me later. By the way,
Right. Yep.
by the way, do you know that's acceptable? Axe.
No.
Really?
Yeah, look it up. Originally, yeah, because I used to think, why is somebody saying "axe me"? I don't get it. And then there were two ways to say it: ask and axe. I'm like, okay, I was wrong. I'll learn.
And then Futurama showed us that by the year 3000, it's going to be common play. The word ask has been replaced by axe.
But it's not even replaced. They actually share the same origin. So there you go.
That's incredible.
Right now, I'm a victim of AI, big time, right? Because that's what they want to replace us with AI. But here's the problem with AI, right? You guys are doing a podcast. Well, do I want to listen to some shithead computer replacing the three of you guys? No, this is more fun.
Mhm.
And
I hope
computers cannot do emotion. Look at Commander Data. It took
Right.
forever to get that
Yep.
chip. But it'll never happen because the human emotion is not based on one emotion. Like for me with Jack, for instance, I want to stab him, but I like him.
That's a recurring theme here on the show.
I had a
Or
nickel
not,
for
not
every
the
time
first
I heard that.
time.
But I had a job where the agency signed me on, and I'm recording an hour into it, so I signed a contract. And they go, "This is amazing, man, the computer." And I'm doing a dead guy's voice, very famous dead guy. And they're going, "The computer is going to love this for sure." And I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean computer?" And they go, "Oh, didn't your agent tell you it's for AI?" I said, "No." So I call the agent, and they're going, "What do you mean AI?" I go, "It's in the contract, they're saying." "Hang on." So she looks through it. She goes, "Oh my God," like in a 10 or 12 page contract, AI was to be used for AI.
Oh, that
She
was
goes,
tricky, wasn't it?
"Yeah, but we've already signed. You have to do it." And I was freaking out. So
Damn.
tell you guys how I messed with it, but I did. Still did a great job, but I messed with the AI.
Wow.
And so I actually got not just 1 or 2 days on that project. I got like 20 because they couldn't replace the voice. And I said, here's the lesson. No matter how good the computer get, it cannot do a human emotion, because even when I'm reading these words and I know this guy's suffering inside, but he has to maintain a proper face, computer can't do that. Even if you program that, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Because the human mind goes like this. Sure, a computer can do it faster, but you're not going to have the nuance of timing. So they were like, all right, well, we learned our lesson. We all die tonight, you suck. No.
Yeah.
I didn't say that, but I felt it in my soul.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. It was
Alright,
implied.
gentlemen, keep in touch. Go to my YouTube page and you can see some stuff. And
Actually, that song's on there. I got Gary singing it, and then Gary singing "These Times," which is another Irish song I wrote, and it's pretty good. But any of you guys musicians?
I play music. Not so much, not like I used to. I used to play in bands and in the bars and stuff with my friends, but yeah, it's pretty
Jam
lax
it out,
now.
man. Get it out there. Play, boys. You gotta play.
Yeah, I would like to. Jack, I saw your guitar
here.
sitting out the other day behind
Yeah,
you. Have you
we
been
got that.
noodling with it?
Yeah, I actually bought strings and I've been
What do you got?
restrung it. It's where is it at?
An electric.
Yeah. Oh,
It was.
yeah. This is
Oh,
one of them.
That's
Yeah.
The Les
pretty.
Paul, Derry. It's a Les Paul.
Yeah.
I've got an Epiphone over here, Les Paul, but I took my good Les Pauls back to Toronto.
I wish this was a Les Paul, but
I'm gonna freak you out. It's not a Chipson. Anyways, so my wife, I gotta love her, man. She was signed on to Julian's auction site, which is amazing. And it was the Les Paul. And my buddy Frank, this is a cool story. My buddy Frank, he's one of the #1 record engineers and mixers for film and TV. Guarantee you all have seen his mixes and heard them. So he's at the actual auction. He's auction, and he's sitting beside this English guy, bidding on all these guitars, and then buying them, hundreds of thousands, right? So my wife bids on this mandolin, came up, and nobody's bidding. So my wife goes, and she got it. It's Les Paul's personal 1954 Gibson mandolin.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and they called me right after, and they go, dude, and they had to ship it to me in Canada, and they're going, dude, you got the fucking bargain. I go, what are you talking about? I was like, $3,000, you know? And they go, it was the wrong price on there. It should have been $30,000.
Oh
Easily,
my
yeah.
God.
And for $30,000, they go, don't lose the strings. Why? His epithelials are on there. And, you know, he played that
He
Gibson.
played them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't lose it.
Damn.
Yeah. So it was really cool. And then, so my friend Frank, he asked this English guy, hey, I want to go to lunch. They're having a break. So yeah. So he's like, yeah. So you're buying all these guitars for yourself? He goes, no, I'm buying for a buy in London. He goes, who is it? He goes, I'm not supposed to say, but you're a cool dude. Just keep it yourself until it's all over. Who is it? Jimmy Page.
Oh shit.
Oh.
That's fucking cool.
That is
Right.
beyond cool, man.
Write the book, Tony. Write the book.
Write the book, Tony. We're just begging you.
I just want to shoot the film.
Even better.
Oh, Tony, thank you, man.
Thank you. Fantastic.
Anytime you want me back, let me know.
Hell yeah.
We
All right,
will
Tony.
definitely be
Hell
taking
yeah.
you up on that, man.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
Becky's call. Have you guys done one with Andre yet?
No.
Oh, Becky's better half. He's Andrei Evchenko, who was in the Stranger Things. Oh my God.
What?
Yeah. Becky's better half is Andrei Evchenko. So, and we were doing a Comic-Con in Hamilton, Canada. And so my buddy Bill Diamond, who's the guy who does all the Sesame Street puppets, he takes me. I got a funny story for you guys real quick. I'm going to drive you crazy. But so we go to dinner and I'm sitting across from Becky and Andre. Well, we freaking hit it off. And I go, yeah, look at this Russian guy. He goes, I'm fucking Ukrainian, asshole. We're having a great time, right? We become friends. Now she's my manager, and it's really good. We're just like, you know, the beauty of it. And he's a great actor. I watched him in Stranger Things. He plays that, you know, the Russian dude. So it's like, holy crap, you know. So ask Becky about Andre. He's really funny.
Absolutely, we
Yeah.
will.
Hell
Holy
yeah.
shit.
And he's like the nicest dude, you know, like I'm telling you, you know, there's not too many people you find like that, but he left Ukraine and grew up in Canada for a while and was kind of neat. And, you know, he's been in America a long time, but man, what a good dude. I love working with him. He's, I'm going to try and get him on this new film. I kept telling Stevie, I go, you know, we have this other friend of ours who you guys would probably know if I told you who it was. And I said to Steve, I go, I like him. I said, but there's a lot of baggage there with his manager. And he's like, oh yeah. I said, what about Andre? And he goes, ooh, I like Andre. I go, yeah. So, you know, all this stuff is, there's a good reason for it. So anyway.
Sure.
All right, y'all.
Thank you.
All right,
I'll see you
Tony.
soon.
Thank you so much. This has been amazing, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, bye
Have a
guys.
good night, man.
Night.
All right, everyone. And once again, that was our conversation with Tony Daniels. Guys, come on.
Holy
My
shit.
eyes are so teary from laughing so much.
Yeah, I mean, it was a mixed bag of emotions. Not only the laughing, but, then he gets his guitar out and played for us. That was incredible.
Yes,
that was
yeah, it
incredible.
was.
I've always wanted something like that to happen, but I don't ever want to ask anybody. I thought, well, maybe I could play my guitar, but then I'd feel like a douchebag. It's hard for me to even put into words how awesome that was when he played his song, because it was so good.
It's one of those very few special episodes where, like, 5 minutes in, we're both, like, all of us are just taking our notes we had and just throwing them, and we're rolling with it. And goddamn, it was amazing.
It was so good. It was so good. And you're right. I totally I realized right away, not going to need this shit.
Yep.
But again, like I've prefaced before, and like we're both insinuating here, that lends to be the best kind of episode. The one that's not 100% scripted, the one where we're just sitting here like kids with our chins in our hands, just listening. It's incredible. But I want to remind everyone to find Tony on social media at The Tony Daniels, and go to his website, TonyDaniels.com, and check out his IMDb, because it's just never ending. And, I don't even think his IMDb covers all the ADR he's done.
No.
So,
Dude,
really take a look at this guy, because it's incredible what he can do and what he's done. I'm sorry, Randy.
He's so phenomenally talented. Even the intro we did doesn't do it justice. Producing, freaking voiceover, voice replacement.
Yeah.
It just, holy shit.
Shoot, all those impersonations, it sounded like there was way more than just the four of us talking tonight.
His freaking accents that he walked through, like, basically half of Europe.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And like he said, I was like, did you sit down and work on that, or can you just pick it out? He just hears it. But as his 23andMe told all of us, he's got a little bit of all that in him. So,
He's got the receipts.
What's that?
He's got
the receipts.
But anyway, another big thanks to Tony. We're definitely going to have him back in the future. But until then, Jack, what do we have on the website, sir?
Go to cannedairpodcast.com, where you can listen, like, follow, subscribe, become a patron, buy some merch, see some YouTube videos, and if you'd like to be a guest and promote your work, send us an email on our contacts page.
Yes, and don't forget to find us on Twitter at CannedAirPod, on Instagram at canned_air, and on TikTok at CannedAirPodcast. And once again, over at the website Jack was just talking about, CannedAirPodcast.com. A couple different ways you can support the show. The merch tab and the Patreon tab. Not that you need the tab to get to our Patreon page. You can just go to Patreon and search Canned Air Podcast. You know how it works. But yeah, for a little bit of your hard-earned cash, you can get either a t-shirt, mug, hoodies, hats, stickers, or just extra content. Whatever your bag is, we've got it for you. Get something in return, and you support our show. And if you don't have the money to support us financially, just leave us a review on your podcast player of choice. And what else? Evergreen Podcast. Tell them about that, Randy.
Yeah, huge shout out to Evergreen Podcast, the network we are so proud to be a part of. And as Jeremy mentioned earlier, check out our YouTube page and give us some love on there.
Yes, please do. We want you guys to see our faces. I hope you want to see our faces.
No.
Maybe that was a bad move. We're just trying to change with the times, even though we're way behind. We're trying to catch up with everybody. But
the bag hasn't come in for my face yet, so just be patient.
just a paper grocery bag with the two eyes cut in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might not work. We can't put anything between him and that microphone. We're lucky enough that we got him using that one good enough as he has been. So I can tell you weren't amused by that. So I won't fan that flame anymore. I will just say once again, huge thanks to Tony Daniels. And until next time, I am Jeremy Colley.
I'm Jack Doherty.
And I'm Randy Hardenbrook.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone, and be excellent to each other.